First story time of the day. This is titled The Most Mortifying First Date Ever. Story time. Now, I am in a relationship of 9 years, just over 9 years. I always thought I must not be that great at giving dating advice because I've never really done the dating thing. However, I've actually come to the realization, and maybe this is the frontal lobe that's developed, maybe I would be the best person to give dating advice because I've had a successful relationship. So I will give my feedback on your dating experience and see how it's all gone for you, and if I can give you any pointers as to how we can make this a better experience for you next time. Here we go. I wasn't sure if I was ever going to tell anyone this story, but here we are. It's always how it goes. And I need you to promise not to judge me because I'm still cringing just thinking about it. Okay, so you've done something on the first date. I'm not judging. What do we do here on this podcast? We listen. And we don't judge. Sometimes Joe judges, but I have to tell him, come back down to earth, Joseph. So let's set the stage. I meet this guy, Steve. He is on a dating app. When we meet, he's tall, funny, great smile. The type that makes you want to throw your phone at the wall when he takes 2 hours to text back. Okay, love that. We love a tall, handsome guy. We vibe instantly. And after a week of talking, he asks me out. Love that. Let's get things moving. Let's meet up in public because people are different on the text, aren't they? On the line than in person. I sometimes think it must be so scary to meet someone for the first time in person, especially like moving in with someone that you haven't known for that long. They could wipe their ass with their hand. Anyway, that was an intrusive thought. Do apologise. So fast forward to the date, we go to this gorgeous, cute little Italian place where the pasta portions are tiny, but the wine pours are generous. Love that. Oh God, so you're drinking on a somewhat empty stomach as well. Also, what do we feel about pasta on a first date? Because pasta bloats me, and I don't want to be bloated for if we're going to get it on. I don't want that pasta bouncing around in my stomach. If my mum is listening to this podcast, I sincerely apologise. She did tell me that my grandma had watched it the other day and that she skipped the brother and the incest story, which thank God Wendy didn't hear that. Fear that may have led her to an early grave. So we don't want the pasta. I don't personally want pasta bouncing around in my stomach. God forbid there's seafood in it as well. By the time the bill comes, I'm already picturing our wedding. Love that. And I'm trying to come up with a wedding hashtag. So cute. You're in love with this man. He is everything you could ever want from a person. Then he invites me back to his place. I'm like, sure, why not, you crazy girl, crazy kid. One thing led to another and ... Well, let's just say the date goes very well. God, Steve, got you wanting to put your hands on a headboard. Still concerned for the pasta. Also, did you get a bread basket as well? Because that would ruin me. Absolutely ruin me. Wine drunk. I'm a sober person as well, but I hear that wine drunk is a whole other level. You should see Joe when he's had a glass or two of wine. Absolute mad one. Now, here's where things take a turn. Yeah, because this has gone really well so far and it's supposed to be a mortifying date. So how is it? Maybe he's got weird things that he likes in bed. So I wake up in the middle of the night and my stomach is doing somersaults. What did I say? No pasta, no seafood, and you've done it all on wine. Oh, and it's not a cute gymnastics kind, and more like someone released me from this torture kind of somersaults. I realise I have to go. I assume go to the toilet. That would bring the fear of God in me. Have you ever had it, not speaking from experience here, when you need to go that bad that you start sweating? I've had it before where I was driving on a 2-hour journey and I needed the toilet within the first 5 minutes. Why I didn't just drive back round to my friend Tally's house and use her toilet, God knows. I then drove past every single services for about an hour and a half until it got to the point where I was sweating. I felt like I was going to vomit and I had to ring my Steve to distract my brain from the wee I needed to take. Don't know how we got there, but here we go. So I make a decision, a strong decision, and I tiptoe to the bathroom. Right, here's the thing, you've got to do this quietly. And you never know, do you? You can put as little pressure behind that first push, but you never know how that first squeeze is going to go. So, tiptoe to the bathroom, trying to be quiet because nothing screams romance like your date hearing you. This is so well written, whoever's written this. Nothing screams romance like your date hearing you blow up their toilet at 2 a.m, right? Oh, baby girl. I do my business and disaster strikes. The toilet is blocked. Shit. Literally. He's blocked the toilet. God, something must have been in this food. Like, it's not flushing. I'm standing there staring at my literal shit and panic steps in. Oh, girl. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not just tell him? Well, I can't. What was I supposed to do? Be like, hey, darling, Steve, can you wake up? Great date, by the way. Your toilet's a war zone. I was never going to do that. I'm in full crisis mode, looking around for anything that can help me. That's when I see it. What? There's a cat litter tray in the corner of the room, and my brain, in its panic-stricken state, goes, perfect. That is where we will go. Straight to the cat litter. Can I just say, I've never owned a cat, but I can use my imagination here and look at the size of a cat versus the size of a human, and can probably tell that the size of the feces that both mammals would create is not going to look the same. We do weird things in our desperate states, don't we? I don't even think. Girly pop. I don't even think. I grab some toilet paper. I fish out my shit from the toilet and I bury it in the litter box. I'm telling myself, Amy, you're a genius. Problem solved. Are you really thinking that? How much wine did you drink? I let the toilet flush a few more times, hoping it's cleared, and crawl back into bed. Why didn't you just take the poo out of the toilet, flush it a few times, and then release your poo back into the toilet? Why? Go and get it out of the litter box. Jesus. So I crawl back into bed. The next morning, Steve wakes up, makes us a coffee. Everything is going well. It feels normal. I'm starting to think I've got away with it. But then he walks back into the living room. He walks back into the living room holding the litter box. He says, hey, there's a poo in here. I freeze. My brain is screaming, play it cool. Play it cool, Amy. Just say, right, is your cat okay? We're blaming it on the animal. God, your cat must have had an awful night. What's it eaten? That whiskers has taken a turn. And that's when he looks at me, dead in the eye, and goes, my cat died 2 weeks ago. Not that the cat's dead. It's not funny that the cat's dead at all. That could not have gone any worse for you if you tried. Because I admire the plan. I really admire the strategy that you've taken here. But we never... Did you not think, I've not seen a bloody cat round here. Doesn't smell of cat. Not seen any cat toys. Where's Fluffy at these days? Dead, apparently. I have never wanted the earth to swallow me more than it did in that moment. I mumbled something about needing to leave and basically ran out like I was being chased. You couldn't have made yourself look less guilty if you tried, really, could you? So yeah, that's how I ruined what could have been the best relationship with one horrible decision. Now, tell me, what would you have done? Because apparently my fight or flight response is just on full sabotage mode. Here's what I'd have done in that situation, my girl. I'd have taken a step back, assessed my options. This is disgusting. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Could you have tried to chop it up with something? I don't know, get a big stick from the garden? Or, if we really want to involve the cat, you know, like those little things that have the cat feather, the little feathers on the end, and you like string it and it bounces. Get one of them, mash it up, and hopefully that'll go down a bit easier. Clearly, Steve hadn't have had the best time before that, because why was the toilet blocked? I actually think this is Steve's fault. Here we go. Here's the presumption of all of this. It's Steve's fault. Why was his toilet blocked? He should have been more conscious about his visitors' needs, and he should have got a little bit of Mr. Muscle Drain Unblocker on that shit, literally. And that should have never happened. Personally, what I would have done is scooped it up and thrown it out the window. Because then... yeah, that's what I'd have done. Thrown it out the window. Outside, out of mind. Do you know what I mean? Rest in peace with the cat.
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Oh, 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 oh. And I'm singing like, whoa.